Welcome everybody to Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio Live at Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio. Here we are. That's my sisters and that's me when I was a little girl in there. And that's where I live. That's the view of my house every day of my growing up life. No wonder I love hills. Right there. Lucille Evans is here. Brenda Kelly is here. Marilys DeRourke. Karen Hawthorne. Donna Sproul. Nice to see you, Donna. Martha Henry from Toronto. And Lucy. And Mary Lou Andrews. Vivian Halsall. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad that you're here. Giving you a little look at the studio today as we walk around. And I got a new rug to show you today. There's Angela getting ready. We're working away here. Hi, Joy Trites from Stylesville, New Brunswick, and Colleen Kelly, and Sandy Oliver, and Barbara Phipps Sadu, Melissa Cigars. Isn't that great? I'm so glad you're all here. I'm going to flip it now so I can see you. Hello, there we go. Everybody's here. Welcome. This is Thursday Live at Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio, and I've got to sew my Shetty Camp frame. I've got to get it all set up and ready to go. I don't know if I can show you the rug that I started last week. I got it finished though. It's all done. And I'm going to show you one beautiful rug right now. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to flip this. And I'm going to show you this beautiful rug right here. Isn't that great? I love it. Right there. I'm going to bring you right in. And this is Roses Gone Wild, sort of. Starts off in the foreground there. Look at that. Imagine walking into that. Imagine opening up your eyes in the morning and seeing that. Look at that. Lots of movement. Lots of movement in those colors. So I'm going to use this rug as an example on one of our color videos as I get ready to create color school for you guys. And I'm going to pass this back to Angela now and let her take over. You can flip it back to me if you want. I don't know if you want to use the pod or not. No. You want to take it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry you guys. There we go.
And flip it.
So here I am. I gotta come on in. I'm gonna sew my frame on my Shetty Camp. Sew my wool Shetty Camp. We have an announcement to make today. Someone is the winner of the Wild with Wool Challenge. Do you know who it is, Angela?
I don't know.
You don't know? All right. I'm gonna sew this on. I've got a nice piece of linen here. Well, her name. She had 222 comments on her post, and that's what makes her the winner. That's what we sort of agreed. I think we let this challenge go on a long time, so it's kind of buried in Wild with Wool. But 222 comments on her post, and I have it, let's go find it on Facebook. Here we go. So you go to Facebook, and you go to Wild with Wool. So we're going to go to Wild with Wool, and we are going to find the woman. I'm just going to go, I can go search here, and I can go Wanda. Wanda. Nope. Was her name Wanda? Her name was Wanda, wasn't it? Isn't that something? Wanda. Anyway, her name was Wanda, and she had 222 comments, and it was a picture of the one? It was like two llamas or two ostriches.
Oh, the ostrich.
Yeah, I think she had the very most comments. So we are going to send her a wool box. Where is she there? I'd like to find her, but you guys can search her if you search out. I'm going to just search wild, maybe. The wild entries. Oh, there was some. There it is. One Elliot. Wanda Elliott, she had 216 comments. But look, Rebecca Patterson had 182. That was awesome too. I love that, her hair. That was really great. And yeah. And then we had another hair one, 61 comments. I'll bring that up. Oh, sorry. There it is, right here. Yeah, she had 216 comments. So Wanda Elliott, if you could get in touch with us, if you could email us, I'll send you a message. And we'll send you a message, and we're going to send you a message right now. And you are, there we go, message, you won. So thanks everybody for all your entries. It's great. You won. Send us your address. The Wild with Wool Challenge. There we go. So she posted that it was one of the first entries, you guys. It was one of the very first entries. So let's think about what we're going to talk about today. You want a hooking slow demo. That's what we're getting requests for. So that's what we're going to give you. We're going to hook slow. And then we're going to talk about planning for large rugs. So that is an important thing. So we'll probably go out by the other rug and talk about what's important when you're planning a large rug. Can you do a large rug as a beginner is a question that we get sometimes. Did a question come up there, Angela? Did you have no? So that's something else we're going to talk about today. And yes, the answer to that is yes. And then I want to tell you a couple of stories about the Wild Roses rug that we looked at. But first, let's get this on the Shetty Cam frame so we can do the hooking slow demo. We better do this fast and then do the hooking slow demo after that. So sewing a rug on a Shetty Camp frame. Now, our Shetty Camp frames, you guys, when you order them, there is a 6-week wait. Sometimes we can get it out in 3 to 4. It just depends on how often Grant visits Buzzy. And that's the truth. It's all about how much time Grant and Buzzy spend together. So, but no, he's working hard on them, and he does his very best. And he's good and reliable, and usually comes in with a set every week or two, and we get them right out to you as soon as they come in. We don't fool around. We no longer sell just the gears. We just sell the frames because sometimes we were being held up because we didn't have enough gears. So I want you to know that if you do decide to order a Shetty Cam frame, it will take 4 to 6 weeks, but it is well worth it. Now, a lot of times people ask me, what if I want to make a really big rug? Can I make it on a Shetty Cam frame? You can only make the rug, I got to get more thread, Ange. You can only make the rug as wide as the frame, right? So you can make it, like I could make it this wide, the 38 or 40 inches, whatever it is. And I could make it as long as I wanted. I could make it 10 feet long, but you can only make it that width. So what's important in planning a large rug? Has anybody got any ideas? What do you think would be important in planning a large rug? I'm going to let you comment and tell us what you think would be important. You're going to have to tell me, Angela, what they say. Mm-hmm. Getting any comments? What do you think is important when you're planning a large rug?
Jane Smith says colors.
Colors. Color is definitely important.
Yardage by Barb Sackle.
Yardage, yeah, making sure that you have enough yardage. Yeah.
Perspective, Heather McClure.
Yes, I agree. Perspective is important. You got to be drawn in. I mean, perspective is important if it's a rug where perspective matters. I guess if you're doing a floor rug, well, I guess even then there is still a perspective.
Janice Gauguin, perspective, focal point.
Yeah, having a focal point can be very important, I think, in a big piece.
Having enough materials.
Having enough materials. There's really practical considerations, isn't there, when you're doing a large floor rug, like having enough materials, making sure. Yeah. Got anything else?
Scale. Scale,
yeah, for sure.
Where the middle would be, that's from Julie Winkler.
Yeah, especially if you're making a large floor rug, what is the center? If you're making a floor rug, it's really important to think visually, like if you're making a large floor rug, it's very important to be able to look down at it and sort of, rather than, if you can only see the rug, like sometimes if you're doing a landscape, you can only see it really well in one direction. Yeah. Okay. So the thing that I think is important in making a large rug is your backing and your frame, what kind of frame you're going to use, okay? Because it gets very heavy. So you have to be able to be comfortable with, so there are very practical choices. You want to make sure that you use linen, that you don't have, if you can help it, that you don't have to piece it in the center. So I haven't been making rugs any wider than 60 inches for that reason. I don't want to piece things together. Now, if you did want to make it bigger than that, your backing, you can piece it together. You just overlap them and sew them together in two places. So you would take the backing and you would overlap it, and you would sew two lines down so that it would stay together. And then in that center area where they're joined, you would hook through two layers of linen. You'd always want to use linen, I think. I prefer linen. I did make one really large rug on monk's cloth because it comes 120 inches wide. So I wouldn't do it again, but I did do it. You want to make sure that we don't make long rods for Shetty camp frames, but sometimes you can get a local carpenter to make you a longer rod, or you can do them on our gripper frames and lift it around. If you're new, should you start a large rug? My feeling is that if you're new and you've finished one or two small pieces, it's absolutely fine to start a big piece. There's only one stitch in rug hooking. What's more important is not whether you're new to hooking, but whether you are good at finishing what you start. And if you're good at finishing what you start, then yes, I'd encourage you to start a big rug. Why not? Go for it. I was probably 3 years in. The largest rug I ever made was about 12 feet by 6 feet. And that hangs in someone's home outside of Pugwash. And I'm glad it's there. Like I'm glad that they have it and that it's still hanging in their home. So that's the biggest rug I've ever made. I've made quite a few rugs that were I say quite a few. I'm talking 4 to 6 that are about 8 feet by 8 feet by 6 feet, something like that. One actually is owned by Georgina, who used to work here with me. She has it. My sister, I had it in my house for a long time on the floor. It was kind of a traditional. Got to take my glasses off to get this done. It was kind of a traditional floor mat, an Asian style rug, I guess it would be. I had that on my floor for years. Then it was on my sister's floor for years, and then Georgina took it and she has it on her floor. So, and that's about 6 feet by 8 feet, and it's beiges and browns. And on the back of my book, Hook Me a Story, there's another fairly big rug with roses in the corner. So over the years, I've made a lot of big ones. Lately, I haven't been. And the biggest size that I've been making lately would be the 3 Moose, which was about 6 feet by 4 feet. And the things that I considered when I was making that in terms of color and material, well, it was interesting, really. You would think that you'd really have to have a lot of material, and you do. You always need 4 times the area, okay? And it's a little different if you're using yarn. I just sort of, when I'm measuring yarn, I just kind of lay it down on top of the other. But with cloth, you want 4 times the area. So, if your rug is 6 feet by 3 feet, then you need 6 times 4, 24 times 3 feet of cloth. It's simple math. So I hope I got that right. I'm here saying simple math, but it's just 4 times the area. But you don't need to make sure. A lot of times people feel like I got to make sure I have enough of this wool to go all over the rug, and you don't. You can go. If you're doing something that has, say, a pattern to it, and there are 4 corners of scrolls, say, for example, then you want to make sure that you have enough for those four corners, right, of the same color. But a lot of times in the kinds of designs that I'm making, it doesn't really matter that much. Because in the rose rug that you looked at today, and that we're going to go out and visit again in just a moment, in that rose rug, I could have changed the color pinks all the way along, and it wouldn't matter that I didn't have a yard of a certain pink. So that matters less than you think for a lot of different kinds of designs, unless your pattern is one where pattern and color are kind of intermingled. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Where the pattern and color are part of the design of the rug, so that every diamond in the rug is the same wool. Then you have to be really planning. So I'm going to get this ready to come back and do a nice slow hooking demo. I've sewn on the Shetty Camp frame for you. You know, I think I'm going to be fine if you've been watching this every episode from the very beginning. You will find that we do repeat ourselves sometimes about certain things, because we just think that certain things are really important. Got to get that wrinkle out over here. So I'm pulling this to the side. And the other thing is, I once went to hear a talk from a novelist, and he said, if I'm going to start a novel, I got to really know I like those characters. I got to know that I want to spend a lot of time with them over the period that I'm going to be working. And I think that's really important if you're thinking about a large rug. If you are thinking about making a really large rug, it's really important that you create it so that you're going to stay interested in it, right? You don't want to be, you don't want to be a quarter of the way through and lose interest in it. So you want to put some real consideration into your subject matter, the wools that you're using. Like, you want to make sure that you like those wools. Really practical considerations, that you love the wools that you're working with, that you can't wait to get at it. So come on out here, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to bring my book with me so we know, and then we're going to come back and do a slow demo. All right. Oh, there's my lunch. Okay. So right here, I want to tell you about the roses. So that rug, why do I love wild roses so much? Well, when I was a child, I used to come home from school, and there was a woman who lived next door to us, and her name was Mrs. Edna Dolomit, and she had a garden, and they were full of just those wild pink roses that grow everywhere. And I'd always come up her lane and then cross over, through her yard into our yard. And those roses were just so beautiful to me in a fenced-in garden, because we didn't have a lot of flowers that grew around where I lived. It was pretty simple. And so I always remember that when I was a child. And then years later, I went back to her house, went back to my home where I grew up, and her house was torn down, and they'd put fill, maybe it was 7 feet of fill, it was so much fill, and what was coming up through the fill? But the roses, you just couldn't stop them. And I thought, there's Mrs. Edna's roses. And then later that day, I went up to the graveyard, and there they were, all over her grave. So it just is one of the things that she was a really important character in my childhood. And she was really good to us. She lived next door to us. So roses always make me think of her. So I know that when I'm hooking roses, I'm not going to get tired of it. You know what I mean? You got to your subject matter has to be something that you really care about and that you really want to spend time with. And then roses continued at Amherst Shore, where I spend my summers now, and there are wild roses that grow along the hedge. And my mother-in-law always would stop when she was going down to the beach and lean over and smell the roses. And I do that now too, having watched her. And so roses are a big, they're just a big important feature in my art because of my experiences with them, such good experiences. So what else do we want to talk about today, Angela? What else have I got on my plate here? Can you do a large rug as a beginner? So that's it. One stitch, finishing what you start. That's the most important thing. And so when I say the amounts of wool, I want you to know that if you have a piece of wool this size, well, let's get pink because it's a nice pink color. And it's sort of in that rug. If you have an amount of wool this size, here it is, 4 times the area. The yardage covers that much area. If you were to hook that yardage, I would fold it 4 times and it will cover this much area. So if you were going to do this rug in just wool cloth, you would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You would need 4, and I would say 5 to 5.5. You'd need about 30 pieces of cloth this size. Now, if you're using yarn with that, then you'd probably be, or velvets or other things, you're going to change. So like this is a pink velvet that you might want to use in there. And the velvet is the same. If it's this big, you're going to get this much area out of it. Okay? So, so you can just measure it the same way. With yarn, it's much harder. What I do with yarn is I take my yarn. Well, let's get a pink. Might as well stay on the pink theme. I'm really feeling pink lately. Okay. So what I would do with the pink is I would just take it and I would spread it out kind of thin like that, as if it was 4 thick. So I would guess that I would get, that's sort of how I do it. I spread it out so it's about 4 thick, and then so, you know, a skein would do quite a good size area. And that's, but this is just an estimate. So last night, speaking of my childhood, Mrs. Edna next door to us, she was a great baker. She was famous for her date squares. But one day I was walking down the road, and I went to my friend's house, and then I went to my friend's house, and somehow we found this recipe, and we couldn't believe it because there was such an unusual ingredient in it. So I'm going to see if I can get Kaylee. I'll be right back. Kaylee and Patricia, do you want to come in? Okay.
They're never going to guess this.
So last night, I went to my sister's house, and she called me and said, Deanne, can you come over? I just got to wash my hands first. She called me and said, Deanne, can you come over? I got something for you. I want you to come pick it up. So it was a cake. And now I got the cake here. And I'm going to get you guys each a fork or a spoon. I don't think there's a clean fork here. Hang on. All right. One has a spoon, one has a fork. My hands are clean. Okay. So I'm going to cut you each a piece. Looks like a fruit cake, Patricia says. So you guys, now you can guess too on the... Does anyone there know, are they guessing?
Half of that size for me. Yeah.
Half of that size for you? Okay. And you guys have to guess the special ingredient in this cake.
It does look like a carrot cake.
Looks like a carrot cake, she says.
Cream cheese frosting. Definitely some nuts in there.
All right. Let's see what they say.
So you're grilling like a something.
I know.
This looks good.
It's nothing bad. It's good. Yeah. But it is... no, my sister Joan.
I smell cinnamon.
You smell cinnamon. Anybody guessing on there?
Yes, but I don't know if I can say it.
No, can't say it yet.
Raisins.
There's raisins.
But we're going to match a chef here.
Yeah. Do you want to zoom right in on it and show them online? There's the cake.
So, is it like a hidden ingredient that we can't see?
Yeah.
So walnut. I think I am going with my guess of Holdenville.
Okay. All right. Do you want to guess, Patricia? Do you have a guess?
There's something I can taste something, and I'm having trouble pinning the flavor.
Okay, they don't know what it is. All right.
It's just really good.
It is really good. Do you like it, Patricia?
I think it's a spice cake.
It's a spice cake. It is a spice cake.
Yeah.
Has anyone on there guessed the
Yeah.
right answer?
Yeah.
They have?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Can I guess too?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and
I'm
guess.
gonna say it's either yogurt or what's it called?
Like zucchini?
Like yogurt or mayo to make it moist.
Something moistening it. You're close, but you're not right. Do you want to take your guess, Patricia?
No, I'm way off the mark. My taste buds are shot.
Okay.
This is great though.
Yeah. I may have the other half still. You never
It's tomato soup.
What?
It's a tomato soup cake. And when I was a little girl, I just discovered this recipe, and it was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. And I was,
so wrong.
what? It sounds so
And it's
wrong.
sweet, though. Tomato soup.
Tomato soup is sweet, and it's a tomato soup cake. So if you Google the recipe tomato soup cake, I'm sure lots of them will come up. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
So yeah, it's a tomato soup cake. Well, you can take a home piece to your mom if you want.
That's the weirdest thing.
It's
I've
the
never
strangest
heard it
thing. I know.
Is
I
it
know.
good?
It really tastes great.
Do you want a
Does
piece,
it?
Angela?
It sounds weird.
No, you can't taste it.
No,
I don't
you
know.
can't taste tomato soup. All right, I got to do a slow demo.
Yeah.
Gotta hook slow. I'm going to show you the wools that we have on the website this week. Right here. So whenever I sew my Shetty Camp frame on, whenever I do it, I always like to work, I don't know why, this is just like my habit, I like to work from this side. I like to work from the lean side. And I've got my 8x8 template here. Those of you who took the Tiny Landscapes workshops know all about this. And I'm going to hook slow. Slow, 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 so you can really see.
Linda Smith made a tomato soup cake last week.
Did she? So she makes it. She knows. Yep. And they guessed how many? Lots of
Yeah,
people guessed?
yeah.
Yeah, they all knew. I know. Because hookers are cookers.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. We like to cook. Cooking and cooking. And yeah, I know. It's unusual. But when I was a child, it was like a big deal for me. I couldn't believe it. I just found it so much fun. So when I started Tiny Landscape, I often start here. I feel like I just want to put a little cow in this. And then I'm going to just a little fence.
A lot of people are commenting if it's like a war cake.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think it is kind of like a war cake. I think it's sort of similar. All right, let's get a little bit of black here. Gray. We need black. I need black. There we go. Hooking slow.
Is it hard for you to hook slow?
I'm quite enjoying this. Yeah. No, not really. I mean, it's my nature to hook faster, you know. But just gonna try and. Someone had on Wild with Wool this week a rug that they'd made with a small rug that they've made with a horse in it, a tiny landscape with a horse in it. Oh no, maybe it was on the Tiny Landscapes course. So Tiny Landscapes is all done now for the year. We may do it again another year, but
Susan Sutherland is saying that your slow is speeding up.
is it? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to go slow.
And somebody else mentioned a chocolate sauerkraut cake.
Oh, now I can't imagine what that tastes like. Sauerkraut. What would that be like? Like, because it's not really bitter, is it? Sauerkraut. It's tangy
Yeah,
and rich. You probably love sauerkraut, do you?
I do.
Yeah. She's from the South Shore in Nova Scotia, where there's a lot of sauerkraut made. Angela is.
Tan Cook Island sauerkraut is the best.
This is the best, Tan Cook Island, and that's in the red and cream container.
The red one.
Yeah. There we go. Hello, cow. Welcome. So, is that slow enough for you? Go in there and get the white in. Oh, sorry about that,
Sorry.
you guys. Can't go too close to you. So, I want to remind you that we're getting down to the harbor. What we're going to do, for those of you who've taken it before, you are automatically registered for next year. You don't have to worry about a thing. Those of you who want to go into this year, you have another, what's the date today? You have another,
16th?
yeah, another 2 weeks to register, and then it's gone. There won't be any late registrations. We're just going to wrap it up because we got to get the material out to people. So there we go. There's my, I'm going to get some green in underneath that little cow. I'm going to go slow. Every loop is worth the time, I guess, isn't it, when you think about going slow?
Well, someone says today's the 17th.
Today's the 17th? Okay.
I don't.
So you got, well, still off almost 2 weeks to register, I think. And we've decided we were going to just use the same content as last year mostly, but we've decided that we're going to add a little bit of new content each month to it. So when you buy the harbor, some people do say, you know, it's an expensive course, and it is, but once you're in it forever. And so you can have it from year to year, which is a really big thing. But there's over 72 videos in it, and a lot of lessons, and a lot of learning. And anybody, we had 8 pages of reviews, positive reviews on the harbor. And if you're wondering about it, you can go into the product and you can look at all the reviews, and it will tell you what different people experienced, because they experienced a lot of great things in that course, and it's worth every penny.
If you're a new hooker, would it be a hard course?
No, not at all. I don't think so, not a bit. And some people were intimidated by the word masterclass. We say that because we want you to, it means basically that you're taking it seriously, and that you want it to be, you want it to be a priority, creativity to be a priority in your life. So we want to get your attention and make sure that you're joining up, because you want to spend more time being creative. But we had new hookers in there. We've had people who've done their first piece during the course last year. We had some people who weren't even rug hookers. We had people who were painters, and though it's specifically, we're thinking about rug hookers. I'm going fast again, aren't I?
Yeah, somebody mentioned speeding up again.
Okay, slow.
Can you do the course at your own pace?
Yeah, you can do the course at your own pace. Like, you don't have to show up at a certain time. Every once in a while during the course, we have webinars or something that we add in, just a few, and you can do those. But yeah, you just do it at your own pace. You can go in and learn it whenever you want to. It's good. Yeah. And like, if you join up for 2021, you don't have to pay again in 2022. It's yours. The content is there. And I think we'll continue doing this for a few years, because people got so much out of it and learned so much. And I'm really happy with the experience that people had in the course. So going slow, and then you can see I'm just using all my little scraps of greens. Even going slow, I got a lot done. Okay. Now these are the wools I want to talk to you about this week. We've got 2 new pink Lunas on the website, and they're great. Those yarns are $7.95 each. They're not 100% wool, but they're 60% wool. Okay. We got some new colors of Malabrigio. We have Oxido, which is a brown. It's sort of a, isn't it?
Oh.
Oh, I know, it's beautiful. We have that one. And then we have lettuce. We don't have a lot of lettuce. We have lettuce and caracol. We have I think there's 5 or 6 of them. These yarns are expensive, but they go a long, long way. I'll hook a bit of one for you. And this is probably my favorite. It's Verde Azul. My Spanish is a little off, to say the least. But isn't that beautiful? And then we have this one, which is also really nice. And this is a caracol. It's under our Rasta. And these are all Rasta yarns. And this is Zarzamora. But if you were doing night sky, or you wanted to show like that would be perfect in that rug out there. Well, let's just go out and I'll show you right quick. This would be perfect in that rug instead of the pinks. You could easily just switch out the pinks for the mauves, and it would be a beautiful rug. So these wools are perfect for field rugs. And I want to show you another pink that we have. I asked Delia, my friend, to give us some pink from Cobweb Woolies. So we got this beautiful pink here. Ooh. And this goes a long way. So I don't know how much these are a bag, but they're like $16.95 or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook some Rasta in here because I have some of that blue. Sorry, my earring is hitting the thing. Okay, I have some blue and I'm going to hook some of this pink in here. So we're going to hook the pink in the foreground. And again, you don't need very much, right? There we go. Goes a long way. So all of that was in there for $12.95. And then this is going to be more than enough. I'm just going to go in here in the foreground. And I'm going to lift it up high. And I'm going to go slow. And then when I bring up that fleece like that, I just bring the green in near it. And that's how I got that big field out there. I just did it a lot of times. Trying to go slow. There we go. Like that. And then this is the Rasta, which are these yarns here that I showed you. So this is this one here. So let's see what this does, okay? This is the Verde Azul, Verde Azul. And don't forget about Richfield. It's such a great yarn. It's a thicket, Richfield and thicket. This is the one I showed you a long time ago, and we do have it in stock again. And when you get a skein of yarn like this, I was going to say a can of yarn, you get so many different colors. Like that that in a field rug, it's perfect. Okay. I don't know if I have any Richfield there. Okay. I could open one, I guess. All right. So I'm going to take this blue-green and I'm going to do this hill over here in that blue-green.
Sorry, they're asking to see the cow up close.
Oh, he's cute. This is a gift for someone. And so I want you to see that yarn and how beautiful it is. Can't you just see it? Like, just lovely. I'm going to go over here. And this is great for like back hills or field areas. And I just feel like when I'm with you now, I'm so much more relaxed. And I just want to thank you to the people who show up again and again to watch this. You make me really comfortable. And knowing that you're there. Thanks a lot. And for being a part of our studio life. Because there's lots of life in this studio, isn't there, Ange?
There is.
There is. It's fun. Okay. So today I told you a little childhood story about Mrs. Edna and the roses and why roses are important in my art. And about my mother-in-law and how much she loved her roses. And how much I now love them. I think this would look really nice if I just took a little bit of it and mixed it in here. Look at that. So when you have a yarn like this, This yarn is expensive. I think it's like $49 a skein. And it goes, it'll last you a long time. But when you have a yarn like this, it does so much in your work, It does so much of the work for you. This green is not going to work. There we go. Bring this green in. A little bit of curly locks there. So, that's it for today. And I want to tell you, please share the video. And know that I'm glad you're here. And that is so sweet. And I'm going to have to finish this afternoon, I can see. I'm taking an online course myself, so that's just perfect timing. Oh, look, a little bit of dark green velvet. Let's see what that velvet looks like if I mix that in up here. Can't. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. Velvet twists on you sometimes. You gotta give her a little. There we go. There we go. Nice. And then we'll bring some teal in.
Do you have any idea what you're going to do with the fence?
Yeah, I'm going to just hook it in white. Probably just a bit of jersey or something. Yeah, or yarn. Just a white yarn. Just keep it simple. Well, we could use this. Really easy. So when you share rug hooking, you never know what you're sharing with someone. If you get a chance over the holidays, be sure to teach someone how to hook a rug. If you get anyone expresses any interest at all, jump on them. Say, here, come here, I can show you. Keep an extra hook. Like hooks are $10 or $12. Keep an extra hook around so that if someone is interested, you can give it to them. Because you just never know what you're giving them when you're giving them an opportunity to create and make things. So I'm just using Chunky Briggs & Little, which is on the website too. It's great yarn. $7.95. Like, what a deal. Beautiful yarn. So, Angela, we got to wrap it up, I think. Is it time? Probably over time.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd say. Anyway, I'm really glad you're here. Someone said to me, "Is everything okay? You on your last video, I just am relaxed. I'm finally relaxed with you guys." So I'm just happy that you're here with me, and I've been doing this since March, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I think next Thursday will be Christmas Eve, and this is the question: do you want to have a live on Christmas Eve? See what people say.
Somebody just asked that. That's so funny.
Yeah, what do they think? They want to have a little live on Christmas Eve? Maybe we should have a cup of tea together and a piece of fruitcake. Maybe we could do a little short one before we go home, Ange. What do you think? Are people going to be busy?
Oh, we're getting some yeses.
Going to get a yeses? Well, I'll be here. And if you're busy with your family, then that's great. You can watch it later. So thank you for showing up today. Thank you for sharing rug hooking with the many people in your lives. And keep sharing it. And share the videos. And buy lots of wool. Because you need lots of wool to make really great rugs. That's the truth. See ya. Take care, you guys. Thank you. I can't stop now. I'm speeding up a little bit, too.